what do you need help with right now? What's challenging?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an introvert, and so I struggle with probably being on social media as much as I need to. What's the best way for me to probably farm that out? Like, get some of the work.
Yeah, yeah. So I think part of it, well, I think for you to get through that backlog, I would probably get used to the idea of growing your team,
Yeah,
um, and potentially getting somebody that can help with sanding,
yeah,
moving, clean up, like just like a shop hand,
yeah,
and that while you are at your day job, they could be doing stuff
sure.
and being productive. That's probably what I would do there. The other thing too is removing yourself from the idea that it's you. So I think many of the audience knows that I used to work in nonprofit, right? And so I've run a nonprofit and I've raised lots of money and I've come out my ass and come out my face to like ask people for money. Like it's like, hey, could you donate? And so for me, separate yourself from the idea that it's Donnie, right? Even though it is Donnie that's going out there, that's the award-winning furniture designer, and separate yourself and it's almost hide under your company, and just know that you are putting yourself out there for the sake of the company. You're not doing it for yourself. So when I was doing it, I was doing it for my mission. My mission was to help kids. My mission was to, so like, go back to your personal brand, go back to your mission, your vision for your company, and like literally buy into your mission, buy into the fact that, that you are, growing a business that's going to make an impact on the lives of your customers in your area. And so once you start putting yourself into that mindset, it's like, you know what? It's it's in your obligation. It is your moral duty to continue to share your work. Right? I think oftentimes we start to play a little bit small when we start to see like, oh man, this is becoming a little bit. I'm exposing myself too much. Oh, this is too much, and you're like, first of all, dude, you're not that important, right? Nobody cares about you. Everybody's everybody only cares about themselves, and you're just doing your duty to serve your mission and to serve your company, right? That's one thing. I also had another client. They started to say, "Hey, you know what? I'm really trying to move away from this personal stuff and potentially go towards, put stuff underneath my company." And I'm like, and I start to myself, so I was like, "Oh, they're getting a little fearful."
Yeah,
And so, and it's a fear of feeling too exposed, because then there's all this pressure. But just let that go, man. Just let it go. Like the stuff that I see with you and your daughter, like traveling, dude, you do a lot. Like you do a lot. Like
yeah,
you're working, you got this, you got a company that you're building, you're a husband, you're a father, you have enough time to go camping with your daughter. Like you're doing, like you went to DC, like I saw that. Like there's
yeah,
a lot of stuff that you're doing, and and people want a story. People want a story behind that. And in fact, I would probably go even deeper. Like you listened to a podcast of me
yeah,
and you started telling me a little bit about yourself. Bro, lean into that, because and this is the thing. It's like when you start to lean into your story even more and realize that when you see me post, especially if those that are friends with me on my Facebook page, I sometimes post for me, because I know that part of my mission and my vision is that if I post, I'm helping somebody. I don't really post for me. I post because I know, even if it gets one like, two likes, I know that there are silent people that are supporting me. And that's the key part about building a brand and a business. is that you are building something that you're inspiring other people. The work that you're doing is going to be in people's homes for generations. Like, can you imagine, like, in 100 years, somebody's going to have your table in their house? That's wild to think about. That's a vision to obsess over. That's a vision. Like, dude, I'm going to say one last thing. Did you watch the Netflix show Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Did you watch that?
Actually, my wife was watching it last night, but I haven't seen it.
Bro, you got to watch that. You should rewatch it with her. Rewatch it with her. It's so good. It's so good. That should be like your little your evening thing, whatever. But anyway, it's the last season. I watched the last episode, and she said something. It's not a spoiler, but she's like, she gets on stage and it's at her biggest height and whatever, and she's like, I want to be so big and so famous. And she starts listing all these reasons why. And she goes, I want to live a big life. And if you resonate with this, listen. And if you're a listener listening, if you resonate with this, you should be working with me, because I know you, Donnie, want to live a big life. You want to make a big impact. You want to help support people. You want to make a difference. And that's what we can do as entrepreneurs. We can make a big difference through our products, through our stories, through our services. And like, bro, that should be enough to be like, you know what? All right, man, I'll make this stupid post. I'll tell my story, because I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for other people.
Yeah.
Like, when we get in our head about, like, it's because we get in it because we're not thinking for it. We're thinking in this egocentric mind. In fact, you have way more to share by you sharing your work and your story than keeping it inside. Does that make sense? I hope people resonate with this. And that's the power of this platform. Because 30 years ago, the only way anybody ever knew about Donnie Hines from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, was that he had to go in Main Street in downtown.
Yeah.
Now you can build an audience wherever.
Yeah.
There weren't podcasts 30, 40 years ago, right? Yeah. Your story is going to inspire other people. And so you have that same power to do the same. And so, like, bro, you want to lean into that. Lean in hard. Make sure that you're the biggest, baddest furniture maker in Winston-Salem. Make that your mission by the end of it. Like, triple your, triple your following. Get big. Go friggin' ham. Is that helpful?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool, man. Awesome. Dude, it's always great to talk to you, man.
Yeah, you too, Steve. Always.
Awesome. So tell everybody, what's your website? What's your Instagram?
Yeah, so website and Instagram are both the same thing. It's salemwood.co.
Awesome. Dude, thank you so much for being part of the program. Thanks for entrusting. I'm super proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate that.
All right, man. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yeah.